So that's just a really, really basic beauty lighting, kind of clamshell sideways. I'm sure you've seen the other clamshell. When I want to emphasize the eyes, I get up high. I'm going to do a quick full body shot. When I'm shooting full body with women, something you want to keep in mind is if you are standing, particularly I'm short, but if you're standing at your normal height and you're photographing somebody, whatever is closest to the camera, as I said before, is what's emphasized. So it might be the midsection or the chest. But when I'm photographing full length and I'm trying to emphasize fashion, she has a beautiful red dress on, maybe I want to add curve there. What I'll do is I will back up and I will shoot low. So I might get down on my knees, sit on the floor, because what that does is it elongates the body and it makes her look taller. If I were shooting really close up to her and shot like a wide angle lens and was shooting up, it would basically be a shot up the nose, or it would make her feet look really, really big. But when I back up, get low and use a longer lens, it just makes her look tall and slender. A couple things that I look for when posing a woman. There are several things. First of all, if I can have nice curves, I definitely want to. I'm always looking for a curve in the hip, so that might be having the subject pop their hip out. It just takes it from straight and rigid, which isn't really interesting, to giving a little bit of curve, accenting feminine curves. From there, one of the other big things I'm looking for is negative space. So if you think of it like this, if somebody's stand with your hands really tight to the side, okay, really, really tight to the side. If you're looking at that, her arms and her elbows merge with the side of her body. Now, she's skinny, has a beautiful form, so she still looks nice. But in general, that's not what you're going for. It's not flattering. You don't want it to be all merged together. So I usually don't have arms in front of the body merging. I don't usually have them straight at the side. I always give a little bit of negative space because then you can see the curves of the body. You can see that popped out hip. So give me just a little bit more space. Put it down real quick, put both hands down, and just give me a little bit of space between the arms. Good. Now put them lightly on your thighs and just kind of kick the hip out. Good. Very good. So I'm seeing there just kind of a little bit of curve. Even just that tiny little bit of negative space is going to make a difference. The easiest way to have negative space, though, put a hand on the hip. That's always nice and easy. You know, if you have if you're using this hand as well, don't put it behind the body because then it looks like they lose their arm. Put it just kind of loose in front and give a little bit of negative space. So the whole time you're emphasizing the form. Perfect. Yeah, right there. That's good. If you notice on her wrist, she's just lightly setting it on her hip. It's not like, give me something a little more harsh, turn your hand up. You know, when she's gripping or when she has really hard angles, it's not as flattering. So when you have someone put their hand on their hip, don't have them dig it into the sides. Instead, it's just soft, like she was doing before, just setting it there. It looks more relaxed, it's more flattering. So it looks beautiful. Let me just take a couple more real quick. Looks great. Perfect. I'm going to make the poses a little bit more fashion influenced. I'm going to tell a little bit more of a story with the pose. So what I'm going to have you do is you're actually going to turn that way. And instead of having hand on the hips facing forward, what you're going to do is you're going to kind of turn back that way and have you pop out this elbow when you're kind of looking over. So it's a little bit more drama. But the reason that I had her do that for this piece is I wanted to really emphasize the headpiece. It's really cool. And so straight on, it's nice, it's even. If she turned the other way, she turned to her right, the headpiece disappears. So when I'm thinking about fashion, I'm also thinking about what angles are going to emphasize the pieces that I added that are going to tell the story. So arm, drop your shoulder just a little bit, perfect. And I'm going to put your hair, do you mind if I move? No. Cool. I'm going to put it right there. So I have nice leading lines, I'm going to bring the shoulder forward a little bit more. Beautiful curve, and I'm going to have her look down, and it'll be nice and quiet and emphasize the headpiece. So this isn't a pose that's used a lot in fashion photography, but where I originally got the idea was looking at bridal magazines. I get inspiration for poses all over, and you'll see a lot of bridal gowns in magazines or in catalogs where the women are posed just like that. So I look, for example, if I'm photographing a woman in a long dress, I look at images of women posed in long dresses. It gives me ideas for interesting poses. How you might want to pose a model or your subject on the ground or on stairs or on a couch in a long dress. There's very specific ways that it's going to be flattering to the body and to the clothing. So look around, look at magazines, look online, look for inspiration. So when the time comes, you know the direction to go with your poses. So I'm going to take a few shots of that since that looks beautiful. Okay, just like that, and shoulder forward just a little bit more. Perfect. That's perfect. Just like that. Perfect. Good. I want to do a close-up of that because I really liked with your head turned that way. So let me just do one more close-up. So I'm going to zoom in now. Before I was closer to something around 70, 85. Let's zoom in real tight at around, let's see. We're just do all the way at 200 millimeters. Okay, turn your shoulders that way even more. Good. Drop that shoulder. Good. Let's try just like that. Chin down more. And bring that shoulder to the right a little bit. Keep going right there. Lovely. Perfect. I am going to do a different light setup now, but that's basically that glowing sideways clamshell light, close up, far back. When you are close up, you might shoot kind of eye level or higher so that it emphasizes the eyes. If you're doing full length, you want to back up, use a slightly longer lens, get low to the ground so it makes them look taller and skinnier, and then try different poses, look for inspiration. This has just been really basic poses that I found in catalogs and magazines. So let's try a different lighting setup.